called the catch. This is the moment that the oar goes in the water and I catch the water. This is also the moment that I start pulling on that wheel. Whenever you start a movement, the first part of it is the hardest part because that's when you're still. If you're lifting up weights, sitting on the floor, when you're starting the wheel, it's at its slowest point. So you want to use the strongest part of your body at that moment.
My name's Kare Williams. I started rowing with the University of Washington in 1989, and I rowed with the Seattle Rowing Club in the summers. I was in Seattle rowing for about 3 years until I graduated and then moved back to Santa Fe. I bought a Concept 2 rowing ergometer when I moved back to Santa Fe because there are no large bodies of water and no shells anywhere in the state. And I rowed in indoor competitions as well as online competitions, as well as the Concept 2 world ranking for a number of years.
Whenever you're initiating a movement, if you think about the part of the body that you want to use, that's what's going to fire first. So if I'm sitting here in the catch and I'm thinking about how hard I have to pull on that handle, chances are pretty good that I'm going to start pulling on that handle. But if you focus on how hard you're going to push your feet through the footboards, that's the part that's going to fire. So think about your feet, just like in deadlift. I never lift a bar when I deadlift. I always push my feet through the floor. So here I'm going to push my feet through the floor. So once the potential for my legs is almost gone, then it's the second part of the stroke, which is called the swing. Most people and most coaches that I've seen will coach it as two parts, the drive and the recovery. But I want you guys to think about the connection between the two. The connection between the two is the swing.
I started CrossFitting about 10 years ago and was very excited when I discovered that CrossFit incorporates the Concept 2 rowers, and started competing with that and teaching rowing clinics. I have my CrossFit level 1 and level 2 certification as well as rowing certification, and I coach clinics for Iron Athlete out of East Valley CrossFit in Phoenix. And I teach them at my gym that I opened with my husband a year ago. It was CrossFit Milo in Tucson, Arizona. We do 2 clinics. We do a 3-hour clinic for any athletes who just want to learn how to row better. We focus on proper technique. We go over pacing and power, racing starts, and half strokes and all kinds of little tricks. We do drills. We play games to really reinforce the feeling of finding that power in each stroke and controlling your stroke rate. Then I also coach a 5-hour clinic for coaches on how to coach rowing. It's one thing to know how to do it, it's an entirely different thing to know how to coach it. And that focuses more on drills and specific issues that a lot of people have and how to correct that.
And the way she was rowing is she would come up and she'd go, and I realized that when she was grunting, which was right about here, was when she was actually finding connection to that wheel. And I said, no, you have to find it here. You can't wait to here to find that connection. If you don't get that connection until here, half your stroke is already gone. And as you just learned, the first part, that tiny little movement, that's where your leg power is, right? This is where all the power is. So if you don't find that connection at the very beginning, you've just lost a good 1.5 foot off of your stroke.
I fell in love with rowing from the first moment that I saw it. When I was sitting on my couch in 1988 watching the Summer Olympics, and I saw crew for the first time, I went, I don't know what that is, but I want to do it. Rowing enables me to keep fit. I love the rhythm. I love the power. There's so many different things that you can do with it, and there's so many different ways of incorporating it into CrossFit.
So, the actual release position. I want that stroke to be as long as I can get it, as long as it's supported from my body type. Your stroke is as long as it is. Keith, you will always have a nice long stroke. Congratulations, you're genetically gifted to row, right? Beautiful. But whatever type you are, your stroke is what it is. But we want to make it as long as we can, as supported as we can. But a falsely elongated stroke will always be slower than your natural length. What I mean by that is if you come up and you're trying to reach forward in an unsupported position to make that stroke longer, it's not going to be a strong position. Even though your stroke is longer, you won't be as fast. Same thing at the release. If I'm trying to get that stroke back up here, there's no way that I can keep pressure even here on that handle all the way around the turn. So one of the things that helps is my shoulder position. So when we do this, we're not doing, what is it machine at the gym when you, the pendulum row or whatever, to get your shoulders, you know, and you pull back like this and you go like this, you stick your chest out really big. Lat thingy? Yeah, I think that's the official term. Is the lat thingy, right? Some people row like that, where they come back, they're like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna make my shoulders look really tough in a tank top. No, that's not what it's about. What I'm trying to do is have as supportive position as possible. So instead of having my shoulders back like this, because if I took my feet out of my footboards right now, or out of my straps, I would fall backwards. What I'm trying to do is finish that off in a supported position. So all I need to do is simply transfer a little bit of my weight forward on the seat. The way I do that is I roll my shoulders forward. If I'm here, my back, I'm going to fall back. All I do is roll my shoulders forward a little bit. That puts me in a really strong position. I can pull, I can even push off my toes at the same time, and I'm not going to fall off. If I roll my shoulders back and I'm back like this, there's no way I can finish that off.
Because of my background, when we opened our gym, the first event that we did was the Milo Marathon, which is teams of 6 rowing 42,195 meters for time in July in Tucson. It sounds crazy, and we thought we were a little nuts when we did it, and it was a massive success. The purpose of this video is to introduce myself and get the word out on what we're doing and what we have available, what CrossFit Milo can do, and the clinics, so that if there is anybody out there who's interested in rowing and wants to learn how to do it better, wants to learn how to be more efficient, wants to be faster, and it's not just about being faster, but it's about finishing faster with more energy left over afterwards. So that goes back into efficiency, that you know that we're here and what we're doing, and come take our clinics.